Who's behind these riots? When I watch them on TV, and it's really not the mainstream media, that is the left, it's citizen journalists with iPhones and so forth. I'm not seeing a lot of people rising up from these various communities. I'm seeing a lot of white people. I'm seeing what we learn later are some criminals. I'm seeing Marxists who are shipped in from city to city. Maybe they're even paid. But I'm not seeing this great uprising in the inner city communities. I've been very interested in your take on that. We'll be right back. Candice Owens, now I admit she's not Bob Woodward, but on the other hand, she likes to do books that are serious and substantive and not based on gossip and disgruntled former employees and so forth and so on. And you can get her outstanding book. It's coming out very soon, the next few days, at Amazon.com, or any major bookstore. Candice Owens, and the book is Blackout. Candice, I want to ask you, who's behind these riots?
I'll actually add to the questions. Who is behind Black Lives Matter? Where are the billions of dollars that Black Lives Matter has raised over the years by using black faces that were murdered or killed? Where's all the money gone to? There's no Black Lives Matter school. There's no Black Lives Matter building. You don't see a Black Lives Matter campus. So where has all of these billions of dollars gone? They've magically disappeared. It's almost like they've gone into the middle of a hole. So these are really good questions to ask. And what I will say this is the obvious answer is that these are tremendously well-funded efforts. I live in Washington, D.C., and 70% of the people that were arrested, rioting, and protesting weren't from Washington, D.C. You guys will recall a couple of years ago, I was attacked in a restaurant by a group of Antifa thugs, and I will tell you, it was 9 a.m. in the morning on a Monday morning, and there is no way that a bunch of people left work and got into Antifa garb and showed up unless this was their full-time job. The American people know this. It's time for our Department of Justice to begin investigating this and seeing where this money is going, who is funding these protests, who is funding these riots, and who is funding the destruction of America. Because these are trained Marxists, and this is their full-time job, without question.
And the co-founders admit they're trained Marxists, so it's right there in front of our faces. Now, Candice, let me ask you this. The media in this country, they're not going to give you a break. They're not going to talk about you or your book. They'll put in any crackpot professor who's preaching anti-Americanism. Aren't the media in this country not just regurgitating what the left is saying, but leading the parade in many respects?
Very much so. I'm a big believer that it's time for New York Times versus Sullivan to be reversed. The media is able to go out and they're able to tell flagrant lies because there's no accountability. They're allowed to lie. They're just protected. They can say whatever they want because they're journalists, even if they are willfully lying and smearing. Imagine what this country would look like if the media had to tell the truth. If it was at risk to their job and their establishments and to their organizations if they were forced to tell the truth. And this is something that we should be having a discussion about because it's gotten ridiculous. I mean, they will literally make an entire story up and there's no accountability. And I'm not concerned about it only because what we're seeing now is that people are not trusting the media anymore. It is because of this widespread distrust in the mainstream media that people like me were able to come to the forefront because people are desperate for a different perspective, are desperate for truths. And they will say, who is out there saying something different than the media, which is essentially just saying, hate Trump, Trump bad, Orange man bad, no matter what, resist Trump. And voices like mine have been able, to rise up on YouTube, on social media, to tour the entire country and to say, here is why I am a black conservative, here is what I believe, and here's why I believe that you should listen to this various perspective and how it will improve your life. So I thank the media for failing because I wouldn't exist if they hadn't.
Succinctly, why are you a black conservative?
I'm a black conservative because I am on the side of the truth. I'm a black conservative because I know my history. I'm a black conservative because I understand that what the left is trying to do is not progressive, it's actually regressive. Virtually everything that the left does leads to regressive results for the black community. Every time they say they're helping, they're hurting. And you can really start to see this take place starting in the 1960s. I talk a lot about Lyndon Baines Johnson. He was an outwardly open, proud racist, and yet in the school systems. He is somebody that is celebrated. We are taught as Black Americans in school that he saved us because he inked the Civil Rights Bill in 1964, which he virtually had to because of the uprisings. I'm a Black conservative because I understand how welfare has harmed Black America. I'm a Black conservative because I believe in myself, because I don't think there's a difference, Mark, between you and I. I don't look at you as a white man and say, I can't do what he can do. I look around and I say, anything Mark can do, I can do as well. And that's because of the freedoms in this country that I want to protect. I do not want to live in a society, Mark, where people can say that because of the color of my skin, I'm given certain advantages, that you need to hit a quota of how many Black people need to be in the room, how many Black people need to be somewhere. That is the bigotry of low expectations. I don't need Harvard to look at my application and say you can come in because you're Black, even though this white person had a better score, because I know that I can get that same score as a white person. That is what I am offering in my book, Blackout. I am offering Black Americans a sense of courage, a sense of responsibility, and a sense of confidence. And I know that this will be the thing that can save America. I'm so proud of this book. I'm so proud of what I've learned on this journey, and in large part it is due to so many people that have believed in me. So I do want to say thank you to all the Americans that have been with me on this crazy journey. And if you are a white American and you buy this book after you read it, please donate it to a Black child, because I was that Black child who didn't know all that America had to offer. And I want this to be something that instills hope in the hearts and the minds of every Black American.
Well, Candice Owens, isn't the key word here liberty? You never hear the word liberty out of the mouth of a leftist. You always hear words about government and suppression and oppression, but you never hear the word liberty, and you certainly never hear the phrase individual liberty. Because for the left, for some reason, socialism, centralized government, the iron fist of the bureaucracy, is supposed to be utopia. But isn't that the key, liberty?
Liberty is the key, and the way that they're able to strip that away is very simple. It's by making sure that people depend on nothing but the government, like you just said. And Black America was really the experiment with that. If you want to look at the reasons why you look around the mainstream media and they mock people that have faith, is because they want there to be faith in nothing but the government. They want people to turn to government for all of their problems, and then they want the government to offer all of the solutions. In many ways, the left wants to replace God with government. It's the same with family. It's why do you see this attack on the family through various means? Radicalized feminism, which I cover in my book, and Black Lives Matter, which we talk about in my book. It's because if you remove the pillars of faith and you remove the pillars of family, it gives the government the room to grow and say, we are your family now. We are the only faith that you should have in, and that is really at the core of Marxist ideology. Give the people absolutely nothing to believe in but the government itself. So you're absolutely right. I mean, where we're at right now, it's a scary time in America, but I also always want people to feel optimistic, because I'm hopeful every single day that people like you, people like me, people that are fighting on the ground are really changing the narrative and showing people what the truth is.
Well, I do think the president's going to make significant inroads in this election with minorities, particularly African Americans and Hispanic Americans, who have seen what the Democrat Party will do, and the Democrat Party will do nothing. More and more centralized government, more and more phony promises. The Democrat Party is about the Democrat Party. They're about power. That's their history. That's who they are. Candice Owens, the book is Blackout, How Black America Can Make Its Second Escape from the Democrat Plantation. Well done, and thank you for your patriotism. God bless you.
Thank you so much.